This is the Benks infinity stand for the iPad. This thing is solid, it's metal and really well built, your iPad just snaps right to it. It's adjustable and rotatable and just a great all-round versatile iPad stand. Plus I think it looks really nice and it's a great accessory for anyone looking to use their iPad with more of a desk setup, maybe with an external keyboard or mouse, or even just to use alongside your main computer. So let's take a closer look and I'll show you some of the ways that you might want to use this stand. My name is Jack, I make tech and tech accessory reviews. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. And just to say right away, Benks did send me this stand for free to review, but this video is not sponsored by them. I'm free to say whatever I like and whatever I don't like. So let's start first with the design and what iPads you can actually use with this stand. And as always, you can find all the links in the description below. I have a 2022 12.9 inch iPad Pro, and Benks sent me the appropriate stand for that iPad. And this stand works with any 12.9 inch iPad Pro from 2018 or later. They do also have a slightly smaller version specifically for the 11 inch iPad Pro, or also the 4th or 5th gen iPad Airs. They are also making an even smaller version for the 6th gen iPad Mini, and that's currently on pre-order on their website. So the first thing that I want to say about this stand is just how well built and well put together it is. This thing is heavy. It weighs about 1 kilogram, but that's not actually a bad thing. It's constructed from aluminium and that weight makes it feel really premium and like it was made for the iPad. It even kind of looks like an Apple design stand. It looks a bit like the stand from an iMac or the Studio Display. And I think it's really sleek and minimalist and it really complements the iPad design well. The underside of the stand is covered in a soft silicone material, one to protect your desk or tabletop, you don't want the metal scratching or ruining your desk, and two to stop the stand from sliding around all over the table if you're touching the screen. It stays in place and it isn't going anywhere. The same coating is also found on the iPad holder part, this huge flat surface that you attach the iPad to. Again, the silicone here is for protection, so there's no direct metal on metal contact, and you're not going to scratch up the back of your very expensive tablet, which I'm pretty sure that you don't want. The iPad attaches to the stand using magnets. Using this magnetic field paper, you can see a whole bunch of magnets spread out across the back of the iPad, and these are mirrored in the infinity stand so that everything lines up and snaps together. It can take a bit of guesswork for the first few times that you try and attach to the iPad. The holder rotates, which we'll see in a minute, but you'll also notice this line on the one side, and this should always be closest to the table, and your iPad camera should be at the top opposite that line, just to make sure that you always get the magnets properly aligned. Think sort of the same way that you'd attach the iPad to a Magic Keyboard if you have one. But once it's on, it's held really firmly in place, even when you tap the screen. The magnets in the stand are really strong, so strong in fact that it can be a bit fiddly trying to remove the iPad. The best way that I found to do it is to hold the base of one hand and then grab one of the lower corners of the iPad with the other. But I guess I'd rather have the magnets be too strong than too weak. What sets the Infinity stand out from a few others that I've seen is its adjustability. Firstly, the iPad holder can rotate 360 degrees, so you can use the iPad in landscape for work or watching videos or for gaming. I've been using Remote Play to stream some PS5 games when I need a bit of a break, but also in portrait mode too, which I am actually really liking. Until now, I've pretty much always been a landscape iPad person. But portrait is great for working on long pages or Word documents or for taking notes. I use my iPad a lot in my production planning for my videos using Notion, and the portrait orientation means that I can see a lot more of my notes all at once, which is great. The stand pairs really well with an external keyboard or trackpad or a mouse if you want to turn your iPad into more of like a desk computer. You can still use the touchscreen on the iPad, of course, but you might get a bit tired sort of holding your arm up for long periods. So I definitely recommend using it alongside your favourite keyboard or mouse. And with it, the iPad just feels so much more like a normal computer. I've been using Stage Manager with multiple app windows open, going through and editing my photos. I've even had a bit of a play around editing video in LumaFusion, and that's something that I definitely want to try more of with this setup. I've just got to learn my way around the app first. There's also a hinge on the base for adjusting the height of the iPad, and also another that's attached to the iPad holder so you can adjust the angle or even flip the whole thing over to show someone something who's opposite you. The other thing that this stand works really well for is Sidecar and universal control. I don't have a desktop Mac, but I do have a MacBook Pro. And with the Infinity stand, I can really easily match the iPad height to my MacBook Pro and use my iPad as a secondary display with Sidecar. So recently I've been using my iPad a lot alongside my MacBook Pro, or when I've been using Final Cut, I like to use my iPad as a browser monitor so I can see all my clips and leave more room on my MacBook display when I'm editing. And on top of that, you can use it with universal control too. So this lets you move your mouse cursor on your Mac to the edge of the screen, and then you just sort of push through it onto your iPad, and then you can control and type on it all from your Mac. Really cool feature if you want to grab some files from your iPad and then bring them over. And the Infinity stand is perfect for matching the screen heights, and it just looks so good in this setup. Then on top of all that, you can adjust and tilt the stand right down almost to desk level. I call this drawing or note-taking mode, maybe for when you want to draw or use the Apple Pencil to make some handwritten notes. The stand still holds the iPad really firmly in place, even when I'm leaning on it, and you can tilt and angle it slightly, kind of like an artist's desk. Now, I'm not much of an artist, so I haven't been using the stand like this for massively long periods, but I have been having a lot of fun painting in Procreate, and I haven't gotten any hand or wrist cramp when I've been using it. Just a few more bits to mention. The stand doesn't get in the way of the Apple Pencil charger or the Thunderbolt port on the side. You can still use it to charge or use it with a dock. You can't use the stand with an iPad case, but I think you should be fine if you're using a skin. For anyone that's looking for an on-the-go stand, this can be folded down pretty much completely flat, so if you did want to take it with you in a backpack, you can. The bottom of the stand can be tilted all the way back, even though there's no way that the stand can support itself like that. It would have been better if there was sort of like a hard stop when adjusting to stop it at 90 degrees, but there isn't, so try not to fold the stand back too far or it will fall backwards. It does only come in one colour, this dark, almost apple space grey colour, which pairs pretty well with my space grey iPad. They're not the exact same colour, but in saying that, Apple themselves have been wildly inconsistent over the years with their own space grey colour, so I'd say that it matches pretty much close enough. It would have been nice to have a few other colour options to match the other iPads, but nonetheless, I think this sleek dark grey will go with whatever iPad you have. This version of the Infinity stand costs $88 or £71, and the other smaller versions come in at a little less. You can find the links in the description. And I think that's a really fair price for what you're getting. The whole stand feels really premium and well made with the aluminium construction. The hinges all feel really strong, as do the magnets. I'm not worried at all about my iPad coming off. It looks super sleek and it fits right in with Apple's own design. And it makes the iPad so much more versatile at a desk. I think the best thing about the iPad is just how versatile of a computer it can be, and the Infinity stand might just be what you need to make it work for you in your workflow. Thanks to Benks for sending me this to review. If this video helped you out, you can let me know by hitting the like button. If you've got any questions, you can drop a comment below, and if you want to see more tech and tech accessory videos from me, hit subscribe and the bell. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.